Hello everybody, welcome. I am so glad you're here with me today. For years we've all been fed this idea that life has a peak, that there's a certain age where we're supposed to have it all figured out, and then it's a slow decline. But I'm here to tell you, that is one of the biggest myths we've ever been sold. I've had the privilege of meeting so many incredible people on my journey, and let me tell you, some of the most vibrant, most alive, most magnetic souls I've ever encountered were in their 60s, their 70s, and beyond. They had this light, this energy that had nothing to do with the number of candles on their birthday cake. So what is it? What is their secret? It's not about expensive creams or chasing after youth. It's something deeper. It's a way of being. It's about cultivating an ageless spirit. These are the people who walk into a room and you just feel better. They have a wisdom that's gentle, not preachy, and a joy that feels earned and authentic. They've learned that the second half of life isn't about winding down. It's about opening up. It's about finally living in the truth of who you are, without apology and with so much grace. Today we're going to talk about that. We're going to pull back the curtain on the habits, the mindsets, the heart sets of these ageless souls. These aren't complicated rules. They are simple, profound truths that anyone at any age can start to embrace. This is about more than just getting older. It's about getting wiser, getting freer, and becoming more fully and beautifully yourself. So get comfortable, open your heart, and let's explore what it truly means to thrive. This is going to be good. The first thing I've noticed, the absolute cornerstone of an ageless spirit, is this. You stay curious. You just do. It's a non-negotiable. Think about it. When we're children, the whole world is a question mark. Why is the sky blue? What does that taste like? Where does that road go? We are relentless in our pursuit of knowing, but somewhere along the way, we're told to have the answers. We're taught that being an adult means being certain, being an expert. And in that process, we can sometimes let that beautiful, vibrant curiosity wither on the vine. We stop asking, and a little part of our spirit starts to close down. But the people who truly thrive, the ones with that unmistakable light in their eyes, they never let that go. They are lifelong learners, not because they feel they have to be, but because they can't imagine being any other way. They'll be the first to sign up for a pottery class, to read a book about a subject they know nothing about, or to ask you a question about your life, and genuinely, truly want to hear the answer. They aren't afraid to say, I don't know, tell me more. That humility, that openness, is what keeps their world expanding instead of shrinking. It's what keeps their mind sharp and their hearts engaged. This curiosity is what makes you magnetic. When you are interested in the world becomes interested in you. People are drawn to that energy. They feel that you're not a closed book, that you're still on a journey of discovery right alongside them. You're not someone who has all the answers, but someone who is still in love with the questions. That posture of openness invites connection. It tells people, I'm still growing, I'm still learning, I'm still open to what you have to teach me. It's a signal that your soul is not done. And it's not about grand gestures, it's about the small things. It's about trying a new recipe, taking a different route on your daily walk, listening to a genre of music you thought you'd hate, or striking up a conversation with the person next to you in line. It's a daily practice of choosing wonder over certainty. It's a commitment to letting life surprise you. And when you live that way, you don't just stay young at heart. You cultivate a wisdom that is dynamic and alive, a spirit that never, ever gets old. Now this next one is so important, and it brings such a beautiful sense of freedom. The most ageless souls I know, they laugh at themselves. And I mean a real deep belly laugh. They've reached a point in life where they understand that perfection is a myth, and a stressful one at that. They have the wisdom to know that making a mistake isn't a character flaw, it's just part of the human experience. They can trip on the sidewalk, say the wrong thing at a dinner party, or burn the toast, and instead of spiraling into embarrassment or shame, they just chuckle. They see the humor in their own humanity. There is such incredible power in that. When you can laugh at yourself, you take the power away from shame. You release yourself from the prison of having to be right all the time, of having to appear flawless. It's a profound act of self-acceptance. It's you telling yourself, it's okay, I'm not perfect, and that's not just acceptable, it's actually kind of funny. This lightness, this ability to not take yourself so seriously, is like a fresh breeze in a stuffy room. It instantly puts everyone around you at ease. Think about it. Who do you feel more comfortable around? The person who is stiff, guarded, and terrified of looking foolish, or the person who can tell a story about a time they messed up and laugh about it? The answer is obvious. When you show that you're okay with your own imperfections, you give others permission to be okay with theirs. You create a safe space where people don't have to perform. They can just be. That humility is a bridge to connection. It says, I'm human, you're human. Let's not pretend otherwise. This isn't about self-deprecation or putting yourself down. Oh no, it's the opposite. It comes from a place of deep self-worth. It comes from knowing that your value isn't tied to your performance. You are worthy, period. And from that place of security, you can afford to be gentle with yourself. You can see your own fumbles and foibles with a sense of loving amusement. So the next time you do something silly, try it. Instead of cringing, just let out a little laugh. It's one of the most liberating, spirit-lifting things you can do for yourself and for everyone around you. This one is a true art form, and it's one of the rarest and most beautiful gifts you can give another human being. The truly wise, ageless souls, they listen more than they speak. And I don't just mean they're quiet while someone else is talking. I mean they truly, actively listen. They listen with their whole being. In a world that is so noisy, where everyone is clamoring to be heard, to post their opinion, to give their advice, the person who can offer the sanctuary of their silent, focused attention is a treasure. When was the last time you felt truly, deeply heard? Where the person you were talking to wasn't just waiting for their turn to speak. They weren't formulating their rebuttal or thinking about a similar story from their own life. They were just there, with you, taking in your words, your pauses, your tone, making you feel like what you had to say was the most important thing in the world in that moment. That is the kind of listening I'm talking about. It is a presence that is so profound it can be healing. People with this quality have learned that wisdom isn't always about having the right answer. Often the wisest thing you can do is hold space for someone else to find their own. They listen to understand, not to reply. They ask gentle, open-ended questions that help you go deeper into your own thoughts. How did that feel for you? What do you think you need right now? They're not trying to fix you. They are trusting you to have your own wisdom, and their listening is the key that helps you unlock it. This practice of patient listening cultivates a deep sense of calm and centeredness in a person. It requires you to set your own ego aside, to quiet your own inner chatter, and to simply be present. And that presence is what makes others feel so seen, so valued, so safe in your company. It is the ultimate act of respect. In a world that constantly asks, "What do you have to say?" the ageless soul gently asks, "What is on your heart?" And then they have the grace to simply listen to the answer. There is a serenity that surrounds certain people, a calm that feels like a deep, still lake. And if you look closer, you'll find that this peace comes from a powerful, conscious choice. They have learned to let go of what they cannot control. This is a masterclass in wisdom. It's the art of knowing the difference between what is yours to hold and what is not yours to carry. It's understanding the crucial distinction between caring about something and feeling responsible for controlling it. Life is going to be life. The traffic will be bad, the weather will change, other people will make decisions you don't agree with. You can spend your precious energy, your life force, railing against these things. You can get tense, frustrated, and exhausted trying to bend the world to your will. Or you can take a deep breath, acknowledge the reality of the situation, and focus your energy only on what you can control, your response, your attitude, your own next step. This is where true power lies. Letting go is not the same as giving up. It's not apathy. It is the opposite. It is an active, courageous choice to preserve your peace. It's saying, I care deeply about this person, but I cannot control their choices. I can only control how I show up with love and support. Or I am disappointed by this outcome, but I cannot change the past. I can only control what I learn from it and how I move forward. This discernment is the key to emotional freedom. It stops you from pouring your energy into a bottomless pit of worry and anxiety. This is a practice that deepens with age and experience. You learn, through trial and error, that carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders doesn't help the world, and it certainly breaks your back. You learn to release your grip. You choose calm over chaos, not because you don't care, but because you care so much about your own well-being and your ability to be a positive force in the areas where you can make a difference. This is the wisdom that allows you to walk through life's storms with a steady heart and an unburdened spirit. In our busy, often self-focused world, consistency is a rare jewel. And the people who shine the brightest as they age are the ones who have mastered the art of simply showing up. I'm not talking about grand, dramatic gestures. I'm talking about something much quieter, much deeper, and infinitely more meaningful. I'm talking about the friend who remembers your big presentation is today and sends a simple, "You've got this" text. The neighbor who, without being asked, brings your trash cans in from the curb. The one who calls, not for any particular reason, but just to say, "I was thinking of you." This is the currency of true connection. It's the steady, reliable presence that says, "You are not alone. I see you. You matter to me." People with this ageless quality understand that relationships are not built on occasional fireworks, but on the small, consistent embers of care. They show up for the big moments, of course, the weddings and the funerals. But more importantly, they show up for the mundane, in-between moments. They show up on a random Tuesday. They show up when there's nothing in it for them. This kind of generosity of spirit is breathtaking because it is so pure. It comes from a heart that is full, not one that is looking to be filled. They give their time, their attention, and their support without keeping score. They don't have a hidden ledger of who owes whom. Their giving is an end in itself. They reach out because it is their nature to connect, to nurture, to support the people in their orbit. They have learned that the richest life is not one of receiving, but one of contributing to the well-being of others. And what a legacy that is, to be known as the person who could be counted on, the one who showed up. This quality doesn't fade with age. In fact, it often deepens. As the frantic pace of career building and child-rearing slows, there is more space for this kind of intentional connection. These souls have learned that at the end of the day, what matters most isn't the accolades or the accomplishments, but the love you've given and the people you've shown up for. It's the quiet, steady heartbeat of a life well lived. Oh, this is a big one. This one requires such grace. In a world that is so quick to label, to categorize, to jump to conclusions, the truly evolved soul takes a different path. They make a conscious, deliberate choice to seek understanding before they pass judgment. They operate from a place of curiosity rather than certainty. When faced with a person or a situation they don't immediately comprehend, their first instinct isn't to condemn, but to wonder. To ask, what might be their story? What pain or fear might be driving this behavior? What am I not seeing? This doesn't mean you condone harmful actions or that you don't have discernment. Not at all. It means you have the wisdom to separate a person's behavior from their inherent worth. It's the understanding that people are complex, that everyone is fighting a battle you know nothing about. It's the grace to offer a little space, a little patience, a little benefit of the doubt. It's choosing empathy as your default setting, even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. This quality comes from a deep well of life experience. When you've lived long enough, you've seen it all. You've seen good people make bad choices. You've seen people change and grow in ways you never thought possible. You've made your own share of mistakes and have needed grace yourself. This lived experience teaches you humility. It softens your edges and quiets the harsh voice of judgment. You learn that things are rarely as black and white as they seem. Choosing understanding over judgment is an act of profound kindness, both to others and to yourself. It frees you from the exhausting negative energy of anger and condemnation. It keeps your heart open and soft. It allows you to see the shared humanity in everyone, even those with whom you deeply disagree. This doesn't make you weak. It makes you wise. It is the hallmark of a spirit that has learned that the highest path is not one of being right, but one of being loving. One of the most beautiful paradoxes of an ageless soul is this incredible combination of tenderness and strength. They have not allowed the hurts and disappointments of life to harden them. Their hearts remain open, soft, and capable of feeling everything: the soaring joy, the profound grief, the quiet beauty, and the sharp pain. They don't numb themselves. They don't build walls around their hearts. They understand that to be fully alive is to be fully vulnerable to the entire spectrum of human emotion. They have the courage to stay tender. But, and this is the key, they are not fragile. Their tenderness is not weakness. While they feel everything deeply, they have also cultivated an unshakable inner core. They have a resilience that is born from experience. They have been knocked down before and they've learned how to get back up. They know that a wave of grief or sadness can feel overwhelming, but they also know that it is a wave and it will eventually recede. They have learned to be the steady shoreline, allowing the tides of emotion to wash over them without being washed away. This strength isn't about suppression or denial. It's not about pretending you're fine when you're not. It's about honoring your feelings, giving them the space they deserve, and then making a conscious choice to move forward. It's the ability to cry your heart out one day, and then wake up the next morning, take a deep breath, and find a reason to be grateful. It's the wisdom to know that you can hold both sorrow and joy in your heart at the same time. They are not mutually exclusive. In fact, they enrich each other. This beautiful balance is what gives them such depth and relatability. People feel safe bringing their own pain to them because they know they will be met with genuine empathy, not platitudes. And they also know they will be met with a quiet strength that inspires hope. These souls teach us that true strength isn't about never falling. It's about feeling the fall completely, and then, with grace and grit, finding the will to rise again and again with a heart that is not broken but broken open. You know, it's easy to become jaded as we get older. We've seen it all before. A sunset is just a sunset. A flower is just a flower. The world can lose its magic if we let it. But the people who are truly ageless, the ones who seem to be lit from within, they refuse to let that happen. They actively, intentionally protect their sense of wonder. They have the remarkable ability to see the world with fresh eyes, to find awe in the ordinary, to be delighted by the little things. This isn't a naive or childish quality. It is a profound spiritual practice. It is the choice to remain awake to the beauty and mystery of life that is all around us, all the time. It's the person who will stop mid-conversation to point out the incredible pattern of a spider's web glistening with dew. It's the one who gets genuinely excited about the taste of a perfectly ripe strawberry or the sound of rain on the roof. They haven't lost their capacity to be amazed, and that is a signal of a soul that is still deeply connected to the pulse of life. This sense of wonder is a powerful antidote to cynicism and boredom. It keeps your world vibrant and full of possibility. When you are open to being awed, you are constantly receiving little gifts from the universe. A moment of wonder can shift your entire perspective. It can pull you out of a spiral of worry and ground you in the beauty of the present moment. It reminds you that even on a difficult day, there is still magic to be found if you are willing to look for it. Cultivating this quality means slowing down. It means paying attention. It means putting down the phone and looking up at the sky. It's about nurturing your inner child, the part of you that is still capable of gasping in delight. When you live with a sense of wonder, you radiate a joyful, infectious energy. You remind others of the magic they might have forgotten. You show them that life, in its simplest forms, is still and always will be absolutely extraordinary. Now, this is a skill that often takes decades to master, and it is a sign of profound self-respect and emotional intelligence. The wisest souls I know have learned how to hold their boundaries, not with anger or aggression, but with a quiet, firm kindness. They have learned that no is a complete sentence, and that it doesn't have to be delivered with a harsh edge. They understand the critical difference between being kind and being a people pleaser. For so much of our lives, especially for women, we are taught that our value lies in our agreeableness, in our willingness to say yes. We say yes when we mean no. We overextend ourselves to avoid disappointing others, and in the process, we end up depleting our own energy and breeding resentment. But with time and experience, these ageless souls learn that you cannot pour from an empty cup. They realize that setting boundaries is not a selfish act. It is a necessary act of self-preservation. It is what allows them to show up as their best, most generous selves in the moments they do choose to say yes. Their no comes from a place of clarity, not conflict. It might sound like, I would love to help, but I don't have the capacity for that right now, or thank you so much for thinking of me, but that doesn't align with my priorities at the moment. There is no long, apologetic explanation. There is no guilt. There is just a calm, respectful statement of their own limits. This approach is disarming. It honors their own needs while still respecting the other person. It teaches people how to treat them. This ability to hold boundaries with grace is a superpower. It frees up so much energy that was once wasted on obligations and resentment. It allows them to direct their precious time and life force toward the people and activities that truly nourish their spirit. They are not being unkind. They are being honest. And in the end, This loving honesty is the foundation for healthier, more authentic relationships. It is the ultimate expression of kindness, first to themselves, and then, as a result, to everyone else. Life is not always easy. We all know this. There will be struggle, there will be loss, and there will be days when it takes everything you have just to get out of bed. And honestly, the people who navigate these challenges with the most grace are not the ones who are immune to the pain. They are the ones who have learned how to make a powerful, conscious choice, even in the midst of the storm. They choose joy. They choose gratitude. Now, this is not about toxic positivity. It's not about pretending everything is perfect when it's not. Definitely not. It's much deeper than that. It is the wisdom of knowing that you can hold both pain and joy at the same time. It's the practice of actively looking for the light, no matter how small, on even the darkest days. It's the discipline of starting your day by thinking of 3 things you're grateful for, even if it's just the warmth of your blanket or the taste of your coffee. It's a deliberate shift in focus. This choice is an act of defiance against despair. It is you saying to the universe, yes, this is hard. Yes, I am hurting. But I will not let this hardship be the only truth of my day. I will still find a moment of beauty. I will still find a reason to smile. People who have mastered this have an inner resilience that is, honestly, awe-inspiring. They have trained their minds to scan for the good, and this practice, over time, rewires their entire way of being. It doesn't eliminate the struggle, but it changes their experience of it. And this choice has a ripple effect. When you choose joy in the face of adversity, you become a beacon of hope for others. You show them what's possible. You don't have to say a word. Your energy, your quiet determination to find the light, inspires them to do the same. It's a testament to the strength of the human spirit. It is the ultimate lesson in thriving, that joy is not something that just happens to us when circumstances are perfect. It is a choice we can make, a muscle we can strengthen every single day. There's a big difference between someone who preaches at you and someone who shares a part of themselves with you. The wisest people I know, the ones whose words truly stick with you, have learned this distinction. They don't deal in unsolicited advice or strong-armed opinions. Instead, they deal in the rich, universal currency of stories. They have learned that the most powerful way to teach, to connect, and to leave a lasting impact is to share a story from their own life. When someone gives you an opinion, your defenses can go up. It can feel like a judgment, a command. But when someone tells you a story, something magical happens. Your heart opens. You lean in. You listen. A story bypasses the argumentative mind and speaks directly to the soul. It says, here is a piece of my journey. Here is something I went through. Here is what I learned. Take from it what you will. It is an offering, not a demand. It respects the listener's own intelligence and ability to draw their own conclusions. These ageless souls are master storytellers. They have a lifetime of experiences to draw from. Tales of failure, of triumph, of love, of loss, of hilarious mishaps. They don't share these stories to boast or to complain. They share them to illuminate a truth, to offer comfort, to build a bridge of shared human experience. A story that starts with, I remember a time I was so scared I couldn't move, is infinitely more powerful than saying, you just need to be brave. The story invites empathy and connection. The opinion can create distance. This is how wisdom is truly passed down through generations. It's not in a rule book. It's in the stories our grandparents and mentors tell us. Those narratives become a part of us. They shape our understanding of the world and our place in it. The people who have learned to be the keepers and tellers of these stories are the true elders of our society. They leave a legacy that is far more enduring than any opinion, because a good story, once heard, lives on in the heart forever. This one is for the spiritual heavyweights. Honestly, this is one of the hardest and most profoundly liberating things a person can ever learn to do. The truly free souls, the ones who walk with a lightness in their step, have learned to forgive people who aren't even sorry. They've come to understand the ultimate truth about forgiveness. It is rarely for the other person. It is almost always a gift you give to yourself. Holding on to bitterness, resentment, and the need for an apology is like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to die. It's a heavy, toxic burden that you carry with you every single day. It tethers you to the past, forcing you to relive the hurt over and over again. It drains your energy, sours your outlook, and prevents your heart from fully healing. The person who wronged you may have moved on and not given it a second thought, while you are the one left carrying the pain. The choice to forgive is the moment you decide you are no longer willing to suffer because of what someone else did. It is you taking your power back. It's cutting the cord that ties you to that pain. It does not mean you are condoning what they did. It does not mean you have to let them back into your life. It does not mean you are saying what happened was okay. It simply means you are making a conscious decision to release the emotional charge around the memory. You are choosing peace over righteous anger. You are choosing freedom. This is a courageous, private act of self-love. It can be a long process, and it often requires immense strength and grace. But the people who do this work, who intentionally release the grievances they have every right to hold on to, are the ones who are truly free. They have unburdened their own hearts. They have made space for peace, for joy, and for new, healthier connections. They understand that their future is too precious to be held hostage by their past. After living for 6, 7, or more decades, you've seen it all. You've seen betrayal, disappointment, and the darker side of human nature. It would be so easy, so understandable to become cynical, to close your heart off, and decide that people, in general, just aren't worth the risk. To build a fortress around yourself to keep from getting hurt again. Many people do this, but the truly remarkable, ageless souls, they do something far more radical. They still believe in people. This isn't a blind, naive trust. Oh no, it is a seasoned, wise, and intentional choice. It's a hope that has been tested by fire and has come out stronger. They have the discernment to see people clearly, flaws and all, but they make a conscious choice to look for the good. They choose to believe in the potential that exists within everyone. They hold on to the possibility of redemption, of growth, of change. They give people the grace of a fresh start. This belief is one of the most hopeful and generous energies you can be around. When someone believes in you, even when you don't fully believe in yourself, it can change the course of your life. These souls have a way of seeing the best version of you and holding that vision for you until you can see it for yourself. They are the mentors, the cheerleaders, the quiet supporters who refuse to give up on the human spirit. They know that people will stumble, but they also believe in their capacity to get back up. To maintain this faith in humanity after a lifetime of experience is a testament to an incredibly strong and loving heart. It is a choice to focus on the light rather than the darkness. It's an understanding that while some people may cause pain, there is still an overwhelming amount of goodness, kindness, and love in the world. This unwavering belief in the good of others is what keeps their own spirits hopeful, open, and endlessly connected to the world around them. It is a rare and beautiful form of grace. In our modern culture, we are often valued for what we do, what we achieve, what we produce. It's all about the performance. We feel the need to be witty, entertaining, and impressive. We worry if there's a lull in the conversation. This creates a subtle but constant pressure to be on. But the people who have cultivated a deep, ageless wisdom have moved beyond this. They have learned to value something far more profound, simple, unadorned presence. They understand that the greatest gift they can offer someone is not a dazzling performance, but a safe space. It's the ability to just be with another person without any agenda. It's sitting together in comfortable silence. It's listening without needing to solve. It's letting moments breathe instead of feeling the need to fill every second with noise or activity. This is where true intimacy and connection are forged, in the quiet, unassuming spaces in between the words. When you are with someone who values presence over performance, you can finally relax. You can take off the mask. You don't have to be anything other than exactly who you are in that moment. Tired, happy, confused, or quiet. You feel seen and accepted for your being, not your doing. This creates a sanctuary of calm and acceptance that is incredibly healing. It's a rare and precious thing in a world that is always demanding more from us. This quality comes from a deep sense of inner security. These souls are no longer trying to prove their worth. They know their value is inherent and does not depend on how well they entertain or impress others. Because they are at peace with themselves, they can offer that peace to others. They teach us that the most meaningful connections aren't about what we do for each other, but about how we show up for each other, with open hearts and the simple, powerful gift of our full presence. So you see, it's all right here. The secret to a vibrant, thriving life isn't out there somewhere. It's not something you buy. It's a way of being that you cultivate moment by moment, choice by choice. It's in the way you choose curiosity over certainty, laughter over shame, and listening over speaking. It's in the stories you tell, the forgiveness you grant yourself, and the grace you extend to others. It's about letting go of what you can't control and holding on to your sense of wonder like the precious treasure it is. This is the work of a lifetime, and the most beautiful part is, you can start right now, exactly where you are. These aren't just habits for people in their 60s or 70s. This is an invitation for all of us. It's an invitation to live with a more open, more tender, and more resilient heart. It's a roadmap to becoming the kind of person others feel safe around, the kind of person who leaves a legacy of kindness and connection. It's about understanding that your value is not in your youth or your performance, but in the depth and warmth of your spirit. The world is so hungry for this kind of energy, for this kind of wisdom. So I ask you today, which one of these resonates with you the most? What is one small step you can take to cultivate that ageless quality in your own life? Maybe it's choosing to listen more intently to one person today. Maybe it's finding a moment to laugh at yourself. Or maybe it's simply forgiving someone in the quiet of your own heart. Whatever it is, know that every step you take on this path brings you closer to your own most authentic, joyful, and ageless self. Thank you so much for sharing this time with me. Go out and live beautifully.